Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be teaching a fluid flow held at the beautiful yoga garden. At any point during today's practice, as we're going to be moving fairly quickly, if you need to take a breather, a child's pose, a laying position, then please feel free to take that. Don't wait for me to cue it, just know that if your body needs that today, then take it. However, when you are ready, we're going to start today's practice in a seated position on the heels at the back of your mat. And as always, just taking the first few moments to settle into practice. You can take the palms facing down on the thighs today, or the palms flipped, not thinking about it too much, just whatever calls to you today. Taking the time to lengthen up through the crown of the head and soften the shoulders away from the ears. Closing off the eyes if you haven't already, and if this is too vulnerable to you today, then just take the gaze out in front of you. Focus on a point. Using this as an opportunity to connect with the points of contact you have with your mat today. So grounding into the tops of the feet, the shins and the knees as you ground down, as you settle in. Becoming aware of your breath, starting to breathe into the belly, in through the nose and sighing out of the mouth, acknowledging the sensations that you feel. Taking that freshness in through the nose, and releasing any of that stale, stuck air out of the mouth. Let go, release. Now we'll start to breathe into the belly, the ribs, and all the way up into the chest. Then exhale out through the chest, ribs, then belly. Breathe in belly, ribs, all the way up into the chest. Allow the breath to come 3D. Then exhale, sigh out through the chest, reversing that order through the ribs and out through the belly. Just taking one more now. Breathe in belly, ribs, all the way up into the shoulders, into the throat. Exhale, sigh it out through the heart, through the diaphragm and out through the stomach. Now either keeping the eyes closed down or softly fluttering them open. With an inhalation, reach the arms up and overhead. Gaze follows the fingertips, lift the chin to the ceiling. Exhale, hands drop down to heart center in a prayer position. Inhale, arms rise up and overhead. Exhale, hands drop to the heart, prayer position. Lovely, one more inhalation, arms rise. As you exhale, dropping the right fingertips down to the mat, find a side stretch through the left side of the body, keeping both sit points grounded down. Lifting up and out of that right side of the waist, even though we are finding that side stretch and we're opening out through the left side and we're almost crunching down into the right. See if you can lift up and out. Maybe tilting the chin towards the ceiling here, just one inhalation. As you exhale, start to switch it out, dropping the left fingertips down to the side of the body, right arm then reaches up and overhead. Finding that side stretch over to the other side, inflating through that right lung. And sighing out to continue to ground. Maybe lifting the chin to the ceiling. We'll take one more inhalation. Then as you exhale, this time semicircle your way round, diving the chest down, then reaching the right fingertips out to the side, left arm reaches up and overhead. Breathe in to get there. Exhale, full semicircle round, reaching the fingertips, dropping the left hand down, right arm reaches up and overhead. Nice, full circle, take it round. Exhale, inhale to lift. Exhale over to the left. And inhale to lift high. Beautiful. Keep going. Exhale round. This time lifting the hips away from the heels. Inhale to open out into half camel. Exhale, sinking them down. Semicircle round, dropping the left fingertips. Lift the hips high, open out. One more on each side. Exhale, coming round. Lift the hips. Inhale, open the heart space. Exhale, gliding all the way round. And inhale to lift. Beautiful. We'll then exhale, melting over the thighs, reaching the fingertips forwards, bowing the head down, child's pose. Take a full cycle of breath here, breathing through the back body, all the way up to the shoulders. And exhale, side out. With your next inhalation, we'll start to round up into a cat-like position with the back, drawing the chin in towards the chest, gaze towards the navel as you inflate through the back of the heart. Exhale, dropping the belly, lifting the tail, take the gaze forwards as you glide all the way back into that child's pose. The head drops last. Inhale, waving forwards, rounding through the upper back. Then exhale, dropping the belly, lengthen through the tummy as you glide all the way back. Riding out that exhale. Inhale, coming through, making it nice and fluid. Exhale, glide it all the way back, envisioning yourself as a body of water, waves, liquid. Inhale, coming through. And exhale to glide it all the way back. We'll just take one more rounding. Inhale, inflate through the back of the heart, coming into that Halloween cat position. This time as you exhale, drop the belly, tuck the toes under, glide all the way back and make your way to downward facing dog, lifting the knees and taking a little moment as you heavy the head, softening into the knees as much as you need. You can add some movement, bending into one knee, straightening into the other, just pedaling out the feet. If the hamstrings are tight, step the feet out nice and wide. And if you're feeling fairly open today, then you can bring the feet closer together. Each time you come to downward facing dog, if you need to add movement, then please feel free to. You can start to nod the head yes and shake it no, to relieve any tension within the upper body, within your neck. Beautiful. Now pressing evenly between the palms, we'll take an inhale, reaching the right leg up for three-legged down dog. Drawing that heel up, the toes can point up or you can flex the foot, pointing the toes down. Engaging through the glute to lift that heel, or to lift that leg high, but not stacking the hips on top of one another. We want to just slightly drop that right hip so both of your hip points are shining downwards towards your mat. Just one more inhalation here, see if you can lift a little higher. As you exhale, bending into that right knee, hug it into the chest and step the foot between the palms. If you need to use the assist of that right hand, then please take it. Arms then rise up and overhead as you breathe in, making your way into high lunge. Exhale to sink a little bit deeper into the hips, settle into this pose. Starting to get light on the back toes with your next inhalation, stepping forwards to the top of the mat, swim the arms back for chair airplane. Nice deep bend into the knees for chair pose, arms swing back for that aeroplane pose, a little mix of the two. Beautiful. Then with your next inhalation, sweeping the hands up and overhead for chair. Exhale, settle, sink a little lower. Pausing for an inhale and an exhale. Now with your next inhalation, start to shift the weight into the balls of the feet, lifting the heels up off of the mat, coming high onto the tippy toes, but keeping that bend into the knees. Keep the gaze down if you feel wobbly. Then with your next inhalation, keeping the heels lifted, start to rise all the way up, straightening through the legs, coming into mountain pose. Then exhale, open the arms out to a nice wide T shape, keeping the heels lifted, still diving all the way down with the heart space, melting over the thighs, dropping the hands, dropping the head, and then dropping the heels. Once you reach the bottom, nice deep breath in, create a little halfway lift, peeling the chest from the thighs. Hands can come to the shins for more space, or you can take the hands out in front of you. Exhale, deepen your forward fold, and softening into the knees as much as you need as you fold. Arms then rise up and overhead as you breathe in, ground through the right sole of the foot, and start to carry the left knee in with you as you rise all the way up. Pausing for the inhale, then as you exhale, take aeroplane pose. T-shape with the body, dive the chest down as you swim the arms back. Shooting those toes back behind you, you can have a slight micro bend in that right knee. Charging up through the leg, making sure you're nice and strong. Pausing for the inhale, then as you exhale, softening into the right knee and landing the left toes behind you. We'll then use the right hand to guide a little twist, dropping the right palm to the back of the left thigh, then left arm reaches up and overhead for exalted high lunge. Opening out through the heart space, finding that twist in the belly. Just taking one inhalation. Then using your exhale to lift up and out of the shape, coming towards the back of the mat, turning the left toes out, nice deep bend into that left knee as you sink into surfer's lunge. Dropping the hips, extending through that right leg, and seeing if you can twist the heart towards the ceiling, lifting the chin there. Pause for a cycle of breath. Then with your next inhalation, making your way up to warrior two, rebending into that right knee, using the leg muscles to lift you and keeping that left foot turned out so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. Arms extend over the legs, so your palms almost create little shadows for the feet. Gaze is forwards towards that front middle finger. Nice deep bend into the right knee. See if you can stack the knee on top of the ankle. Now keeping the legs as they are, inhale to flip that front palm, tilt it back to peaceful warrior, opening out through the side of the body, inflating through that right lung. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, start to lift the body up, start to straighten through that front leg also, and reach the right fingertips forwards and send the hips back. We'll then tilt the body down, dropping the right fingertips to the mat, left fingertips reach for the ceiling, coming into your triangle pose. Curling the tailbone underneath you here, trying to get the spine in nice alignment, so shooting the crown of the head towards the top of your mat. Take the gaze towards that top hand to help stack the shoulders. Just one inhalation. As you exhale, start to bend into that right knee and take the left arm up and overhead, reaching towards the top of the mat, extended side angle. Now, if keeping the right hand down onto your mat is too intense for you, you can lift up and out of the shape, bend into that right elbow and let the forearm drop down onto the right thigh. Corkscrewing the heart towards the ceiling as if you're turning that right side of the body underneath you. Lifting the gaze too. Just one inhalation. Then as you exhale, dropping both hands down to frame that right foot. All 10 toes point to the top of the mat as you step the right foot back to meet the left. High plank position. Now you can move through your vinyasa here, either knees, chest, chin, all the way down onto the belly, or pausing halfway for chaturanga. Squeezing the elbows inwards, lifting up as you breathe in, opening out the heart space, softening the shoulders. As you breathe out, making your way to downward facing dog. Taking it straight over to the other side with your next inhalation, left leg rises, three-legged down dog. Sending the chest back towards that right thigh, lifting that left leg as high as it'll go without opening out the hip. So envisioning you have little headlights at the hip points and you want to be shining them downwards towards your mat. Beautiful. Pausing for one more breath in, can you lift a little higher? As you breathe out, stepping that left foot all the way through to the top of the mat, engaging through the inner thighs as you reach the fingertips up and overhead for high lunge. Exhale, settling into your shape. Left knee on top of the ankle. Starting to get light on the back toes with a nice strong inhalation, stepping forwards to the top of the mat, nice deep bend into both knees as you reach the fingertips back. Still taking the chest away or the chin away from the chest. Pulling the heart space forwards, then inhale, reach the fingertips up and overhead, chair pose. Almost as if you're holding a little beach ball up and over the head. Weight is in the ankles here. So if you look down, you should be able to see your toes. And if you can't, just slightly draw the knees back. With your next inhalation, lifting the heels up off of the mat, shifting the weight into the balls of the feet now. Keeping that bend into the knees. Then with your next inhale, start to rise all the way up, extending through the legs, arms rise. As you exhale, opening the arms out to that nice wide T shape, diving over the thighs, leading with the heart, melting, dropping the hands, dropping the head, and then the heels can lower. Halfway lift at the bottom, great opportunity to catch the breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up, ground through the left sole of the foot, carry the right knee into the chest, arms come up and overhead. Inhale. Exhale, diving the chest down, swimming the arms back, aeroplane pose. Nice, shooting those toes back, crown of the head reaches forwards, lengthening through the whole of the body, zipping the belly button in towards your spine to engage the core. One breath in. As you breathe out, dropping the right toes behind you, left palm guides you all the way around to the back of the right thigh, then the right arm reaches up and overhead. Exalted high lunge. Settling into the hips, nice deep bend into that front knee. Pause for the inhale. Then the exhale guides you all the way around to the back of the mat. Turning the toes out, sinking deeply into the hips as you sink all the way down into surfer's lunge. Lengthening out through that left leg. Gaze can come towards the toes or up towards the ceiling, hands in prayer, pulling the heart space towards the thumbs. With your next inhalation, start to engage through the core, pressing into that right foot so you can lift all the way up into warrior two, opening the arms out wide. That back foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat, gaze forwards. Beautiful. Softening the shoulders, slight pinch of the shoulder blades to help open out the heart space, broaden out the chest, and keeping the legs as they are, flip the front palm, tilt it back into peaceful warrior. Lovely. Nice deep breath in. Then as you breathe out, starting to straighten through that front leg, reach the fingertips forwards, dropping the left hand then all the way down to the mat. Right fingertips reach for the ceiling. Now you can grab a block underneath that left palm if you need it, or take the hand to the shin. Just make sure there's not a lot of weight there, it's really light. Or you can tent onto the fingertips to lift up and out of that left waist and help you. Lifting the gaze towards that right palm. Take a full breath in. As you breathe out, start to bend into that left knee. Reach the right fingertips up and overhead towards the top of the mat. Bicep wraps around the top ear. Again, lifting the chin towards the ceiling. Corkscrew the heart up towards the ceiling too. Opening out through the side of the body. One full inhalation, allow it to travel up towards that top shoulder. Then exhale, dropping the hands down to frame that left foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right, half or high plank position. Moving through your vinyasa, taking your flow. Exhale to lower. Inhale into your back bend of choice. Exhale to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Now moving through that same flow a little bit quicker this time. Really flowing with the breath now. So pressing evenly between the palms, inhale the right leg high for three-legged down dog. As you exhale, bend into the knee, step the foot between the palms, high lunge. Inhale, arms rise up and overhead. Exhale, stepping to the top of the mat, swim the arms backwards. Inhale, arms rise to chair. Exhale, sink a little deeper into the hips. Inhale, shifting the weight into the balls of the feet, lift the heels. Exhale, sink a little lower. Inhale, extend through the legs, rise all the way up. Exhale, melt over the thighs, heart leads the way. Really use that exhale to ride it out. Dropping the hands, the head, the heels, halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold. Rising up, carrying the left knee into the chest. Inhale. Exhale, airplane pose, dive the chest down. Pausing for the inhalation. Exhale, softening that left foot, or softening the right knee, landing the left foot behind you. Take the right hand to the left thigh. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Exhale, traveling to the back of the mat, coming into surfer's lunge. Inhale, coming up into your warrior two. Really flowing with the breath now. Flipping back into peaceful warrior. Breath in to get there. Then as you breathe out, straightening through that front leg, reach the fingertips forwards, then dive them all the way down. One motion, lifting the gaze. We'll pause for an inhale. Exhale, bending into that right knee, sweeping the left fingertips up and overhead. Inhale. Exhale, dropping the palms down, stepping back into plank or half plank. Move through your vinyasa, take your flow. Over to the other side now. Downward facing dog. As you exhale, lift the tilt, lift the seat, lift the pelvis. Spread those sitting bones behind you. Inhale, left leg rises, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step the foot between the palms. Arms rise up as you inhale, high lunge. Breathe out, chair plane. Inhale to chair. Exhale, bend into the knees. Sink your seat. Inhale, lifting the heels. Exhale, sinking your seat lower. Inhale, rising all the way up. Keep those heels lifted. Exhale, dive it all the way down. If you wobble and fall, don't worry. You have this time to come back. Dropping the fingertips, drop the head, drop the heels. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. Carry the left knee into the chest with you. Exhale, airplane pose, T-shape with the body. Pause for the inhalation here. Exhale, landing the right toes behind you. Left hand comes to the back of the right thigh. Right arm up and overhead. Breathe in. Breathe out to surfer's lunge. Drop to the back of the mat. Inhale into warrior two. Exhale, flip that front palm, tilt it back, peaceful warrior. Inhale to lift the body, straighten through that front leg, dropping the left fingertips down, right hand rises. Pause for the breath in. Breathe out into extended side angle, reaching the right fingertips up and overhead. Inhale. Exhale, dropping the hands down, framing that left foot, step back to plank or half plank. Move through your vinyasa and take your flow. Child's pose as you exhale. Sinking the hips down to the heels, melting the head into the mat. Take a little moment. Well done, guys. Releasing that control of the breath. So you can start to breathe in through the nose and out of the mouth now to slow everything down. Taking 3 deep breaths. Beautiful. Now you can stay here for as long as you would like, but I'm going to leave you here. I thank you so much for practicing with me today and joining me on the mat with this quick fluid flow. I hope to see you again soon. From my heart to yours, namaste.